one of the changes here at Eastbourne Borough over the summer is the appointment of a new Head of Performance Medicine and Sports Science person, Niall Clark. Niall, welcome to Eastbourne Borough.
Thank you very much, very kind.
Can we talk about the process of you joining us here at Priory Lane?
Process of me joining it. Alan contacted me. I knew Alan from many years ago when I worked at Crawley. I just finished work at Manchester City, and a friend of mine, Steve Coppell, introduced me to Crawley, and that's where I met Alan. I spent 2.5 seasons at Crawley, about 2014-15, and that's my last season in England, because then David Platt, an assistant manager who I met at Man City, he contacted me to go to India, where I went with him as assistant manager, head of sports science, head of medicine. That was through Alan. This is how I got here.
And just a little bit more about the role itself, because it's a new role here at Priory Lane.
To be honest, that's what's excited me about it. Being in football, many clubs, Reading, Charlton, Palace, City, West Ham. Then I went abroad for 5 or 6 years, and so what excited me about here is the ambition and the whole picture, the holistic picture of what sports medicine, helping people, helping the community. So that's what excited me, is what the vision the board have here of taking the club, not just being a football club, it's going to be a hub of the community. We want to, and human performance is the area I love working in. Improving the players is obviously pivotal, making sure we reach their maximum. There is, for me, one of the most important things is having no injuries. So we're going to do, we are at the moment, under process at the moment, doing medicals, making sure we look at every aspect of that. Then we're going to do some testing, and then I'm trying to make it as sort of what I try and do if I was at a Premiership club, to make sure we have the fittest team and we don't get any injuries. So I'm trying to here to support Mark, the manager, and if you speak to any manager I've worked with, what I try and do is make sure the players are fresh on match day and they're fit, so we don't get any injuries.
And just go a bit more about you, really. Your career so far.
I've probably answered that earlier on, so I do apologise. Like I said, I started at Reading with some famous people. You're probably Brendan Rodgers, Brian McDermott, Alan Pardew. That was my first group. Had a fantastic time there, very successful. Runners-up in League One. We then got to the Championship. Had a fantastic time there, where we got playoff after playoff. Alan then left, went to West Ham, and tried taking me with him to West Ham, but I couldn't go because I had a 5-year contract, which was now I know in football is a very complimentary thing to be offered a 5-year contract. I didn't realise that at the time. I then had the fortune of meeting Steve Coppell and his coach Wally, who are two very, very good personal friends of mine, very good people. Had a lot of success there. Alan then got promoted to Premiership, so I moved to West Ham. Had a fantastic time there, very successful. Finished, I think it was 8th in the Premiership. Got to the FA Cup final. It was great. Then from there, moved on to Charlton, Crystal Palace, and then eventually I moved as a consultant to Manchester City. Worked there, was there the season when Aguero won the Premiership, which is a very famous season. Enjoyed working there, and then Steve took me, or involved me to go to Crawley. So when I left City, I went to Crawley, had a fantastic time there, and then went, like I said, I called him Platty. He called me up and said, "Do you fancy coming to India?" I said, "Yeah." So I went to India, and that was the start of 4 seasons in India, which was wonderful. While I was at Crawley, I also met John Gregory, and I worked, first season in India I worked with Platty, second season I worked with Steve, third season I worked with John, and it was wonderful. Won the Indian Premiership over there twice, so that was a wonderful experience. And then on my travels I met a guy called Paul Groves, and also knew Avram, Grant and Marco, so they went to Israel. Had 2 wonderful seasons over there, winning the Premiership, which was their Premiership. So to have won the Premiership in 3 different countries, been involved in Premierships in 3 different countries, it's been fantastic. But underlying it all is my own sort of love for learning and making the best of the performance of what the players are. So, regards to football, yes, I'm a football coach. I've done all that, but I'm not interested. My interest is making sure the players are as fit as they possibly be. We treat them like human beings. They will do everything right because I don't want them to be injured. I want to make sure that they know their bodies. That's including food, breakfast. We're going to look after nutrition. We're talking about sleep. We're talking about recovery. We're talking about strength, power. And what I'm starting to learn from talking to people is to talk about pre-activation, core sessions, kinesis. This seems to at this level, so it's interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm lucky with the people above me here. Mark's very open-minded. He's had experience of it himself. He believes in the same beliefs I do. Alan and the owner Simon are exactly the same. That's another reason when I met them and he showed me his vision here, I was very excited because he is someone that believes in treating people correctly, making sure people are given the opportunity to be the best of what they are, and that is something I want to do. And also the ability to do what I want to do, a job, because normally at this level you wouldn't have the resources to do that, but I'm being enabled to do exactly that.
Perfect. And sort of looking ahead, you certainly sound like you have a lot of experience to put this team in the right direction, certainly off the field.
Yeah, from my point of view, the group I've met so far have been fantastic, all the lads, because it's huge to make sure psychologically the group work together. There's a lot of cohesion, and they look like a fantastic group of lads. The medical's been fantastic. They're very open-minded and reciprocal to it. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'm lucky in that my own philosophy that's worked winning premierships around the world, I know will work here. I played at this level about 30 years ago when I was young, and that kind of world, that gave me my love for football. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to it.
Thank you for your time.
Cheers.